Hey, welcome to Hangar Talk. I'm not Bill, and he's not here. He's probably having dinner with all the gang from the South Florida Drone Meetup. So, hey, welcome to ArtCo Drones and Entertainment, filling in for Bill Ronayne at Hangar Talk. So, so we're going to talk about what happened at South Florida Drone Meetup. I watched the live stream. I watched probably a good 60% of it, maybe a little more. So let's get this show going. Let's welcome all the way from the land down under. He's no blunder. He's could be precocious and sometimes mendacious. Let's welcome Dominic. Dominic. Click on it. I'm clicking. There he is.
Yeah.
Welcome.
We don't have that. Yeah, we don't have that. Uncle Bill's Toys, Uncle Bill's Tribe
Right.
music.
That's right. Yeah, it's probably, if I played it, it'd probably get copyright, not a strike, but what is that called?
I can't think of it.
It's less than
yeah, that one.
Yeah.
We'll think about that. We've got a couple of hours to try and remind it.
Let's welcome
Copyright claim.
Yeah, that's right. Let's welcome all the way from Lansing, Michigan, who did not show up at South Florida Drone Meetup. He's not mendacious. Sometimes he's an ass, but we love him. Let's welcome Londonard. There we go.
Since when Lansing? I don't know who you were bringing in.
Oh,
I'm like Lansing.
Oh, yeah.
Like Lansing. Who the hell lives in Lansing? Oh wow, somebody showed up.
Hey.
I was literally there's like one watching. I was like, holy crap.
How are your friends?
Yeah, tell your friends. And just before the show, I was like, sending, notifications out to everybody. And
yeah. That's pretty funny.
Like Lansing. I was thinking of Ryan LaTourette. He's from Lansing. Yeah.
There you go. Good, nice recovery.
Yeah.
Like Ryan LaTourette's been on your show a million times or something. You know, that's like John from the down under, Dominic from New Zealand.
Yeah.
It'd be like, wait a minute. I think he's been on your show enough times. But anywho, how you doing, Art?
I'm doing okay. Still, got the sniffles.
The sniffles.
Yeah. It's just allergies. It happens every year around this time.
The allergies in the sniffles?
Allergies, yeah.
The allergies in the sniffles?
Yeah, give me a sniffles.
You got the sniffles and the Kleenex? With the sniffles?
Well, I got my hanky, so hold on a sec.
You need a Kleenex in the sniffles? You got the sneezes and the wheezes? Yeah, you watch like 60% of that live stream, son. You need to get some hobbies. I popped in. I mean, I literally was setting up my long story short, there was a Google services update and it destroyed my Hue setup and my Wise Cam setup and everything. So I had to redo it all. So I spent about an hour dinking around with that. I mean, I checked in from time to time, but most of the time the camera was just kind of sitting there. Yeah, and you just heard a bunch of old men chit-chatting about Geritol and Huggies or whatever. Yep. I mean, there wasn't a lot going on, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is fine, but it doesn't make for an interesting watch, though. It wasn't like somebody was narrating or anything. It was basically just the camera set there, or whoever happened to walk by, that's what you saw.
Yeah, who was there and all that stuff, and waiting for the pizza.
Who won the Air 3F? No?
God, I can't remember.
Some random clown that just walked up like every year?
No.
Or was it somebody that everybody knows?
Somebody that they know. They had a couple Avada 2s and what else? Oh, Neos. A couple of Neos that they gave away. Yep.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. That was at the very end. Most of it was like T-shirts and tchotchkes and stuff. Yeah. Tickets.
I wouldn't have made it.
Yeah.
A 3-hour giveaway is a destroyer for me. Yeah, Alexis says your link isn't working.
Okay, I'll send you another one.
Yes, yeah, we gotta get our sexy back.
I had to go to yesterday's. Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, the link you sent me yesterday got me in.
Huh.
Really? I wonder what link I used. I have no idea. I just clicked on the Facebook Messenger and went click. I didn't really look at it. Huh. I wonder if you reused yesterday's link by mistake, Art.
Well, I got in with yesterday's.
I clicked on copy invite link after I had set this all up and sent everybody. So
that's restream for you.
Yeah.
I think they're still working out the bugs or something because there's like mine will glitch every once in a while. I'll be sitting here and the screen will glitch really weird. And your audio will be behind your video, but now it's kind of caught up, which is kind of cool. At first, it was way behind. It's like a Godzilla movie.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, yeah. So welcome on in. You know, it was pretty bad.
So yeah, it was windy there. It doesn't look like they did a whole lot of flying today.
Which is surprising because the wind speed was like 24 miles per hour, big whoop.
Yeah.
According to the weather people anyway. Now, maybe 200 feet up, it was a different story.
Right.
You know, but the weather said it was like 14 to 24, which I don't call that windy, but yeah. It's your drone. If you worried about it, then don't fly. I agree with that. Woo!
There's Mrs. Alexis. Yeah, welcome.
Hey now.
Yes. Good evening.
Welcome to Not Uncle Bill's Toys.
Yeah.
We can't hear you.
Oh, we can't hear you. You might be muted. Uh-oh. Here we go.
Hit the wrong button.
She had the same problem early when she was on the live stream.
Oh, yeah?
Yep.
It's something to do with her iMac, I bet you. Is the mic turned on? No offense.
Yep. I haven't touched
it. Just asking because... No, I'm talking about her.
Have you checked to say you've selected the appropriate one?
Yeah. That's something that...
a default one or...
Yeah. That's a good thing about using a desktop computer. There aren't any built-in mics you got to worry about accidentally getting, know, brought in. Although the Pocket 3 will try to bring in its mics.
Right.
You going to reset?
We'll just go with this one.
You got it.
Yay! Mic. I had to go back to the mic that's built into the iMac. So what the heck?
That's interesting, isn't it?
It works.
I don't know what's wrong with my Rodecaster setup. It's
get a desktop PC.
I have a laptop. Graphics cards out. I need to get it replaced.
Yeah.
Kind of really nice one actually. It's a Rogue Republic of Gamers.
Oh yeah, ROG baby.
Yeah. So you didn't get to hear me, Lon, when I saw you and I went like this. I'm like,
yeah, I know, right? I need to shave.
No, it looks good.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. It wouldn't look good on me, but it looks good on you.
There's a little thigh upper here. Thigh sander.
I got shoulder.
All right. So brutal. So anywho, so we're all the losers that didn't go to the South Florida Drone Meetup.
Well, yeah, Jeff's just he's got an appointment for the GI doctor on the 9th, and he's not doing well. And he's
Well, I'm
like,
sorry.
well, I am too, but it's like I'll tell you what I think it is. He thought he had what they call H. pylori, which is a bacterial type something or other in the stomach, and you take antibiotics for 14 days. And he's drinking Pepto-Bismol like it's going out of style. Like he drank 2 24-ounce bottles of Pepto-Bismol in a week.
Wow.
I mean, just
So that's not hernia issues.
Do what?
Sure, that's not hernia issues, because I did exactly the same thing.
I don't think it's a hernia per se. I think what it is, it could be an ulcer.
Yeah.
The worst case scenario could be cancer, but he's not having any kind of bloody stool, which would look like And so I think what it is that I think he has anxiety to the point where, because he's like so codependent on me, I do everything around here. So what I think that he's just getting himself all worked up because he got worse as the date approached of me leaving, and he was like, "Oh, I could be praying," and I'm like, "Oh, bullshit," I mean, I don't like or anything like that, but it's like sometimes you just gotta call it the way you see it. And I said, what? You're just so codependent on people. I said, next year, I don't care if you're living or dead. I'm going.
Right.
I'm going.
Yeah.
Well, when you got a hot ass wife, it makes you nervous,
Well, it's like we're getting older, and he's 6 years older than I am, and he's aging quickly. I mean, he's
like 30, 35, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's like what, 35, 36?
Talk about thigh rash. Woo, baby. If I was 35 years younger, honey. But no, I'm serious. He's aged so much quicker than I have. It's like he's going from having a good gait and a good stride to like shuffling like a little old man, and he's gray and he's lost a lot of weight, which could be something with this thing. So
it could be
the 9th. We'll tell what's going on if there's anything. So we'll hope for the best. And
I hope for the best.
I don't think he's got anything personally. I think it's all upstairs, but I could be wrong. No,
and I don't want to be morbid, but I'm going to be slightly morbid. I thought that about my wife too until I came home and found her dead. So, and the doctors told me that too. I took her to the doctors 3 days in a row, and they kept telling me, "Sir, there's nothing wrong with her. There's nothing wrong with her. We can't find anything wrong with her." And she kept complaining she couldn't breathe. And then the fourth morning, she goes, "Oh, I'm just having trouble breathing." And I go, "Honey, I'm sorry. I can't miss any more work." Because my boss had come down on me. I had just started my job back then. And my boss came down on me. He said, "Look, if you got to be here or not, you got to get to work." So I said, "Well, okay, honey, let's get in the car. Let's go." And she goes, "No, I don't want you to get in trouble at work. Go ahead and go to work. I'm sure I'll be fine." Yeah. And then I came home and she was dead with an inhaler in one hand and the phone in the other.
So what was the cause of death?
She had asthma really bad.
Oh, wow. And ironically, that's what Jeff does. He does asthma, allergy, dermatology, and pediatrics. But I'm very sorry for your loss. That's traumatic. My dad died in my arms when I was 19. So, I know.
Yeah.
Which is what caused me to want to someday become a nurse. So
Sure.
Surgery. But couldn't stand floor nursing. God, it sucked. It was terrible. But, thank God there's people who are called to that. But I wasn't one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You look like you'd be pretty good for nursing.
Do what?
I said you look like you'd be pretty good for nursing. A little play on words there. Nursing. God, I'm such a bastard.
Well, I used to fill in some hours in the cardiac cath lab. When we'd have to go up and get the patient from their room and bring them down to the cardiac cath lab, and then prep them for the procedure, right? And that's where they determined whether they could do a stent, or you had to go in for open heart.
Right. I did that. Yep.
Yeah. So a lot of times I would get comments like, "Oh, you're like an angel," because I was so, young and I had a better figure. And
Hmm.
well, I mean, that was 40 something years ago, so, but, and then in surgery, you would be like a hero almost every time because when you bring them a warm blanket, it'd be like, oh my God, this because it's so cold in there, we hold the bacteria down that way.
Right.
And if there is any, and a lot of times they would go, oh, thank you so much. And then the anesthesiologist knock them out.
He's the real hero.
No,
Knock you out when you're in pain,
I wasn't going to do it, but I got a call from my study buddy's mom. Called me and I go, well, who are you? And she goes, I'm Teresa's mom. And I go, oh, hi. Teresa was my study buddy. And I go, well, why are you calling me? And she said, well, I want you to come to work for me. And I go, why would I want to work for you? And where do you work? So she told me, and I said, oh, well, why would I want to do that? Because I hate nursing. I had 2 different degrees.
Right.
One was in, IT, business. It was a combination. And she says, well, Teresa told me you hated floor nursing. And so this is something I would think you would like, because we bring him down, we knock him out, we do our stuff, we send him away, you never really interact with a patient. And I was like, okay. So she hired me on the spot, Anyway, so you didn't go to the meetup because I heard you say Billy Kyle canceled?
Yeah, Billy Kyle didn't want to go. He initially was going to drive a Cyber Beast.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get into it on this channel or today necessarily. I said my piece about it, but in brief, a lot of the guys in the drone community sit on the left side of the aisle, which is fine. But apparently they're posting a lot of stuff, hatred towards Tesla and a lot of,
it's a good thing.
Laughing and about Tesla's getting burned and damaged. And he just didn't feel comfortable driving a Cyber Beast. So then he called me, he said, well, I'll tell you what, I'll fly in. I go, Billy, if you don't want to go, man, I'm not dragging you down there. Screw that. We can go some other time. And so we're just going to go to Fort Lauderdale in May is what it boils down to. And get the shots we need to get in Miami in May. You know what I mean? We got plenty of time. We had to go to Miami anyway. We were going to do it after the meetup, jet down to Miami, get the shots we need to get, before we went home. But we'll just go in May and get the shots we need to get. There's no huge rush. We were just combining the 2 things. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
The Miami trip would have paid for the South Florida Drone Meetup for us. But anyway, he was all geeked to drive a Cyber Beast, and then saw that hatred online and on Facebook and whatnot. And he just doesn't feel comfortable being around people that say he's a Nazi or a Nazi sympathizer or a fascist or whatever because he bought a Tesla. It's like it's ridiculous.
Well, I was considering driving mine, and I'm like, God, I really don't want to drive 18, 20 hours. So it would take me to drive it where I could fly it in 8 if I had my plane, but my plane is still in the shop. So no, I get it. I didn't know there was that many people on the left, and if they would have messed with my Tesla, there probably would have been some blood.
I know, right?
Yeah.
And it's just too bad. I mean, I get it, and I'm a libertarian, right? I'm a free speech absolutist. I fully believe everybody has a right to their opinion. Everybody has a right to think what they want to think. But when you start destroying other people's property, and when you start cheering the destruction of other people's property, that crosses a line that I think is that's too much. That's too much, man.
It's just retarded. You said on Bill's, it doesn't hurt Elon.
It's just silly. It doesn't hurt him. What does he care? You've already bought the car's already been purchased, man.
I just don't understand what you would do, why you would do it.
Right.
There are people I don't agree with. I'm not going to go around destroying their property.
I mean, the Bud Light thing, I didn't run around bars smacking Bud Lights out of people's hands and shit.
Exactly, yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't go around.
Doesn't make any sense.
There's what's on the back of my Tesla.
There you go.
Yeah, you wouldn't have made it, probably. Yeah,
I would have made it. They may not.
I know. I'm just kidding. Yeah, they might not have made it.
Yeah.
I got several things in my car that would take care of the situation. I don't.
I don't go around keying up Volvos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody on the back of their Cybertruck I saw somewhere, they had big letters on that back end that said Toyota.
I know. I've seen that one too. That was kind of funny.
Yeah.
I would put like waste management on the back of mine.
Yeah.
I told Belly it looks like a dumpster anyway. I'd paint it lime green, like a lime green wrap, and put waste management on the back.
Yeah, it's too
No,
bad people are so stupid.
Yeah.
Well, it's just a little bit. It's too much. You can have your opinion. You can if you don't like that particular person or their company, don't buy their product, bro. What about that? How about that for a concept? I don't know. I mean, vote with your wallet.
No, I get it.
So.
Well, it's too bad, but
it is too bad. So.
But actually, tell you the truth, it was so windy there whenever we were watching the giveaway that nobody was flying away. It was like I was sitting in the comfort of my own office. I saved. I was thinking about pulling the trigger and going commercial at the last minute. So I called the hotel. They said, yeah, we can get you in, but we don't have any block rooms left. So we have to charge you the rate of whatever it was, 200 and something. And so that would have cost me almost $1,000. And I would have been leaving on the 8th. And then my airline ticket going with American Airlines, I'd have to fly from here to Dallas in a CRJ 145. It's an Embraer. It's a little tiny pedal jumper jet.
Yeah, another one.
It was my plane, but at least I'm flying my plane. And then I get on an Airbus from Dallas straight to West Palm, PBI, Palm Beach International.
Palm Beach,
which is nice.
Yeah, it's like right next to where they're flying. And that was almost $1,000. So I saved $2,000 just by not pulling that trigger. Plus, Jeff was having a complete meltdown. Like, I can't believe you're going to leave me at the time of my need. I could be dying. And I'm like, get over it already. I mean, really, I'm sorry for your loss because that was a real issue. But I don't think Jeff has got an issue. And if I end up being super wrong, I'll be eating crow. And I pray to God that he's not that sick.
Right.
We'll find out. That's why we're going to do the tests.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. And then kick his ass when it turns out it's negative.
I won't do it out.
Give him a swift one in the balls.
Yeah.
Bap. Yeah. No, I just, I learned my lesson about, you gotta have a healthy skepticism sometimes. I understand that too.
Well,
people will prey on your kindness.
Medical people
your compassion.
People to try to treat because we always try to self-diagnose, which is what he did with the H. pylori. He so we went in his work. He doesn't own the clinic. He works at a clinic, and the owner, the doctor, said you have to have a note to come back. So I said, okay, then take an extra 3 or 4 days off, which is exactly what he did. Because the guy said, well, I want you to take off until Thursday, and it was a Monday. And so anyway, he's been at this job for 42 years.
Wow.
Straight.
Got me beat.
Well, I mean, he started in the Army. That's where he got his training. And
not the same exact place, the same kind of job.
Yeah, well, the clinic that he's worked at, he's been there for 22 or 23 years.
Nah, got him beat. I've been at my job for 28 years.
Yeah. So he wants to work another 3, which will put him at 75 years old. So I said, well, unless you have hobbies, you're not allowed to retire because you'll just sit up and die.
Yeah.
Following you around.
Well, no, he doesn't even get off the couch to do that. He lets me do everything. Like he has this office is on the 2nd floor of our home. He hasn't been upstairs since we closed the flying club, and that's been 4 years, maybe 5. He hasn't even been in the upper level of our own home because he freaks out whenever he starts climbing stairs. He doesn't have the stability.
Is acrophobia or something? Or is he afraid of heights? Afraid of stairs?
Well, it's all the above. Plus, he has
Vertigo?
It's not, I don't think full-fledged vertigo. I don't think it's really inner ear equilibrium type problems, but I think that it's just the fact that, well, he said one time when I was a baby, I fell out of my high chair. I said, you know how long it's been since you've been a baby?
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Get over it.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah.
to get over it. Now you
Yeah,
fall out of a high chair because they're too stable, you know.
yeah, my mom was pregnant. She fell off a step ladder once, so I'm afraid of heights.
My
I'm just saying, you know, like get over it.
my
Get
grandmother
over
did
it, man.
fall down a flight of stairs,
Black Ron.
chipped her tailbone or coccyx, and it
Mm.
paralyzed her from the waist down because they didn't have the surgery back in those years to fix anything. So she,
Wow.
I was 26 years old, and she lived to be in her late 89.
Well,
Wow.
So
Wow.
anyway, yeah.
yeah.
So Dominic, what did you think of the? He's down there
Yep.
looking at the cat. What did you think about the drone meetup today?
Well, I've only seen about 3 hours of the video because I had to sleep.
3 hours.
Yeah, and I'll watch that. I'll watch the rest of it in the afternoon. It'll give me something to do.
We'll get something good to eat because it's not. I was in there for 9.
Wow.
9 hours straight.
I got like
Yeah,
5
I
minutes
spent
in.
First 2 on the panel,
5.
and then
5 minutes
I had to
max.
sleep.
I was good. I did like 3 sets of 5 minutes, maybe at the most.
Yeah.
I turned it on and I'm looking at it going, yeah, it's a bunch of old men sitting around, you know, chit-chatting.
It pretty much is an
I
old.
guess I'll go brush my teeth. You know what I mean? I have nothing else to do.
I'm kind of
Yeah, that is the demographic.
I'm kind of the odd.
There's a bunch of girls running on the beach. That'd be something else. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Alexis. I'm sorry.
Well, no, I mean, you know, I would go to the beach if I could, you know, but I'd probably
Yeah.
get pushed out to sea and end up in Cuba or something.
Cuba. I wouldn't mind going to Cuba, to tell you the truth. It's you know, it's one of these places that it sounds interesting on the surface, and then you get there and you're like, ugh. You know, it's like the first time I went to Juarez, Mexico, for example. I was all geeked. You know, I got stationed at Fort Bliss, and we were assigned to we were restricted to quarters for like the first month. You know, so it's like that sucks. But then we finally got, you know, got to get off base, and we're like, we're going to Juarez. Woo! I think you get there, you're like, oh, you're like, oh.
I think Johnny Cash, he mentioned Juarez, Mexico, and I've been everywhere, man. That song.
Yeah. Juarez.
Was it nasty? I've never been there.
It was then. I don't know what it's like now. Maybe it's a
Same.
paradise now, but I doubt it.
You know, it's like manana. They don't do anything.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming, Wayne.
How many people you got in here, Art?
We got, well,
5
we
or
did
6.
get around 15, 16. Now we're down to 13.
Bill said
Oh,
he
wow, really?
live stream from wherever they're going tonight.
Ah, okay.
I don't know if he's doing that or not.
I messaged him and told him he probably should just join your stream, is what I told him.
Yeah.
You could just send him a link. Send Bill a link.
Okay, I'll send him a link.
There you go. Now we got to stop talking about him all being old men.
Yeah.
Well,
what is pre-configuring a mobile phone? Typically, that's where it's all pre-set up for you when you get it. I don't think, unless you're talking about something nefarious, they'll send you a phone like not Cricket. What was that phone where for old people? No offense. Remember, it had really big buttons on it and shit.
Cellular.
Who?
Consumer cellular.
Maybe. No, it had a name like a ladybug or something. God, what was it called?
Oh, Jitterbug.
Jitterbug. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they were pre-configured. You literally bought them. They had the number. Everything was in. Everything was all set up. You just bought the damn thing and ta-da. It just worked right out of the box. You'd have to do dilly
Bill's not
squat.
doing anything right now that I see.
Eddie Nunes. I'm going to call ICE on his ass. See if I can't get him sent back to the Dominican Republic. You know, yeah. So that's pre-configuring. Now, if there's some kind of nefarious connotation of pre-configuring, I'm not aware of it, but It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me even a little bit.
What, the phone?
Yeah, he was saying what is a pre-configuring? What's pre-configuring a mobile phone? And that's typically when you buy the phone, it's all preset to go. Nothing needs to be done. Like a jitterbug, like a jitterbug.
Jitterbug.
Yeah, literally in fact, you can buy some Boost Mobiles used to be like that, where you can just dance into dollar store or something like that, and just you grab it out of the wrapper and make a phone call.
Yeah, or like
you know what I mean?
That phone that they have a commercial still out. They get a call and the grandmother and the grandfather's talking to their grandson. And what'd you do today? Oh, you played baseball. What position? First place. Oh, Grandpa used to do that. And it turns all your speech into text on the receipt.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, well, just go get a hearing aid. I mean, plus it's a landline. You'd have to be tied to your house.
Oh, wow.
How
old is this commercial?
No, it's still running today.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Who has a landline?
Yeah.
I can't tell you the last time I seen a landline.
I have a payphone down in my arcade room that works, but I don't have it hooked up here because I mounted it to a pillar. And the AT&T guy said there's no way for us to run a line to that because you can't get inside the pillar.
Oh.
So
no, Mr. Kitty, I was reconfiguring my Hue network, my smart home. Google Play Services decided to have an update, and it killed Hue, all my Hue, Wise, Blink. I had to reconfigure all my security cameras and my lights and all that kind of crap. So, did you send Don a link? By the way,
I did. I already sent him a link. Yeah. He wants to know when it's going to be over so he can jump in at the end. Yeah, you got about another hour, maybe. Maybe we'll go longer. I don't know. Who knows?
What was that, Alexis?
you called Cool Cat Mr. Kitty?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how's your legs, Alexis? We're on this kind of a medical thing, but how's your legs doing? Are they better?
I can't tell. I had 3 days of just total no pain, and I thought, ooh, finally it's healed, because they said that the new veins would grow and take over from the greater and the lesser saphenous veins that they killed. But right now they're hurting like hell. So I have like crew socks on, and I have padding against the inside arch where it hurts the most. It push pressure. There's still like little varicose veins or something they didn't do, or they screwed up or something. I don't know. So this was done in October. So say November, December, January, February, March, April 6th. Jeff said he read somewhere it could take up to 8 months for these new veins to grow. So if that's the case, maybe 2 more months. If after 2 more months I'm still putting up with this level of pain, I'm going to do something drastic, like tell them just to amputate. I'm joking. Look at Art.
I hope so.
Bush.
You still be taller than Art, though.
Yeah. Well, she'd only be a foot shorter.
That is so wrong.
She'd be 2 feet short.
Your big sister.
She'd be 2 feet short.
Yeah.
She'd be short 2 feet, rather.
It's still messed up. So, and it's always been my right leg that's worse than my left. So I'm not really sure what's going on. That's why if you see me go down like this, that's what I'm doing. I'm pushing, moving on that area of my. Because it hurts, man. So today during the giveaway thing, it took forever for him to give away those prizes. I got a bag of drugs out, and I took a nibble of one of those gummies, and oh my God, I was like yawning, and I was getting really kind of sleepy. I took a little tiny nibble of this stuff.
Orange cream. Okay.
Yeah. It doesn't taste like it tastes like crap. So what I do is I take a little tiny bite, and then I wash it down with some water. And then about a half an hour later, you start to feel like you're getting sleepy, and it kind of dull. You can tell that you're having pain, but your brain doesn't register it the same way as the only way I can describe it. It's not really like being high. It's just like,
No, yeah.
Your brain's not really acknowledging.
It ignores it. It's like it knows it's hurting, but it just kind of says, fuck it, I'm not going to deal.
And if I take a little bit more than what I took, like double that amount, which I even took just a little tiny, it'll knock me out. I'll be out all night. I wake up, and I'm gone.
Well, I got a sample package.
Oh, did you? I know you were asking about it.
Well, it was CBD sleep gels, and they were from Blue Sky, which is a local company here in so
that's nice.
I decided, I'll try that. They gave me like 4 pills, and they gave me a balm, pain reliever balm, which I didn't order that, but hey, it was probably a freebie that they just threw in, and so far it works. Because I take it half hour before I go to bed, and after that half hour, I'm like, I'm feeling kind of sleepy here, and boy, I zonked right out and got 8 hours of sleep last night.
Yeah,
wow.
You got to be careful that you don't take too much because it can make you really
sick. It's
lower dosage. That knocked Jeff and I out. Like, we were so loaded, we couldn't get off our couch. I mean, it was like being back in high school. I mean, I was like stuck to the couch and I could not move. I was so proud to raise my head.
Did you take your Vans and slam it on your head? Says, dude, I'm so wasted.
Fire up the lava lamps. Fire up the lava lamps.
And
the velvet paintings.
That was
which one?
Fast Times at Ridgemont.
Oh, Fast Times, yeah.
That's it. Yeah,
wow, dude.
This is what we took. See, the package is empty.
There
were
the watermelon one?
Yes.
Oh, that'd probably be my favorite.
But look at
stereotype enacted.
Yeah, there you go. The fried chicken favorite one?
Yeah, you got the fried chicken one?
Yeah.
Or grape soda. You got the grape soda flavor?
1,000 milligrams.
1,000.
So this is like epic. I mean, compared to the other stuff. So each piece is 500 milligram, and it says only take a quarter of one of the gummies.
Wow.
Well, I thought it's like candy. I popped one. I gave one to Jeff. He popped it. And it was like, I feel like I'm having a heart attack. I mean, it was just like I had this tightness in my chest. And he had to be getting loaded because he looked over, because we were on separate couches in our living room, kind of like an L shape. So he was looking across and he goes, really? And I go, yeah. And then next thing I know, I was like, boom, I was out. Then I woke up and I started throwing up, and I looked over and he's throwing up, and it was a mess. And I passed out again. The only thing that saved me from getting puke all over me, so I pulled a blanket up over me, and all the puke was puddling up in between my legs. And and then when I let go of the blanket, all the puke was, the only thing I'd eaten the whole day really was some frozen strawberries and bananas.
Oh yeah, there you go.
So there you go. There's the visual.
Juice.
There it is.
And then I could hear, I was too loaded to look, but I could hear my dog, which I knew which one it was. It was Sheba, because she eats anything. She was going, look at them.
And muted.
This thing but
I'm not listening. I'm really not.
Don't do.
Yeah.
Checking.
That sounds like my Rumpelman's drinking days.
Oh, that sounds like my what's that? What is that whiskey that's kind of sweet? Not Wild Turkey.
Goldschlager?
Southern Comfort. Southern Comfort.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Oh, I drank that once when I was a kid. Never again, dude. I threw up so much. Oh.
I bought so much crap just trying to find the right thing to put
Yeah.
And then the guy that
got like a little dealership going on there.
Well, I'm supporting his dealership, but this is something he gave me, thinking this might help, and it doesn't touch it. And all this is basically is it says mushroom and hemp.
Well, I mean, it's just a fun guy.
It's lidocaine, basically. It
It's
doesn't
like marijuana and rub it on your leg real quick.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I'm seriously, I'm gonna go to a pain specialist or something if I have to put up with this for too much longer.
Or how about
That'd be smart.
It's well, we have one right around the corner, right next door to where
Acupuncturist?
going. What?
Acupuncturist or pain specialist?
Oh, a pain specialist.
Oh, he mentioned acupuncture.
Yeah, you might try that. That's no drugs there.
Yeah, well, we studied all the alternative medicines, or a lot of them when I was in nursing. So, you know, I'm not opposed to it. There's something to the acupuncture, and I'm not afraid of needles. You know, it's just another. But I usually gravitate toward our Western civilization of medicine. You know,
So, fair.
But you know, whatever works. You know.
Mm-hmm.
But I had 3 days where I had absolutely no pain, and I felt I was bouncing all over the house, getting all kinds of stuff done. You know, I was getting a lot of work done. You know, because it's hard to walk at times with this, and then trying to keep up with 5 dogs, 5 cats, the fish, the frogs, the ducks,
the ducks,
chickens,
crocodiles.
Oh, and then you should see Faith. She's brown.
The wyverns.
Yeah.
The wyverns.
Hey, come here.
The crows, the geese,
the wyverns, the pigeons.
yeah.
The wyverns. The snakes.
Girl, come on, let's go over here.
The hemlock crops.
Yeah. Oh,
is that the same duck?
No, it's a chicken.
Chicken, I mean. Chicken, rather. Sorry.
chicken.
All right, he's starting to fill it in a little bit there.
Yeah, she's doing good.
All right, I'm talking a couple more months of this, and yeah.
She lives in my office.
A little barbecue sauce. There's a little barbecue sauce.
She's only been outside a few times, and then when I took her to the hen house, the other hens were attacking her. So
yeah,
too little. So
everybody likes the new bitch. You know what I mean? We only got one cock around here. We're already sharing.
I had it out with a rooster the other day.
Oh yeah, who won?
Well, obviously I did. I didn't kill him, but he was borderline.
Yeah, borderline stew.
Yeah,
borderline headed for the pot. You know there are other roosters, buddy. Just so you know, you're not the rooster. You're a rooster.
He is here. We had 2, and I did kill the first one because he ripped me open. You know, he ripped my leg open through my jeans. It did more damage to my. He had a big old cut about that long on my arm.
Oh yeah.
And he would go up with his talons and go at you like that. And he got my arm, and then he attacked my leg. But I had jeans on, full length jeans, and that protected me. And I just looked at it, buddy, you're dead. And I know
it's a wrap, son.
Yes.
Yeah.
I came over the head with a stick. I went inside and got my machete, and I took him next door. And I said, well, before I took him next door, I said they're Filipino, and I said because they eat everything, and I said, y'all eat roosters? And they said, oh yeah. I said, I'll be right back.
Yep.
He was a big one, and so I asked later, did you really eat foghorn leghorn? And that was his name. And they said, oh yeah, we put him in our soup.
Yeah. I said I did eat him. I said I keep my fella's number for just such an emergency.
And this this rooster that we have out there is beautiful. The first one was a Dominicker. He was
Dominicker. Yeah.
Dominic. I always thought of Dominic. Yeah. Black and white feathers. He was pretty, but this one is gorgeous. This one, which is Faith's father, that bird I just showed you, that's her. All the chicks that I've hatched came from this. The rooster is called Chicken Hawk. And so we're not going to hatch anymore. We've got enough chickens. We're getting a lot of eggs. We got 10 eggs today.
Oh,
wow.
We give them to neighbors for free. You know, we can't.
That's pretty nice.
Ooh.
It'd be worth moving there.
Yeah.
Although egg prices have come down.
Yeah, they have.
Not here, they haven't.
Really? I got them for $4 a dozen a week ago.
Oh, that's still high for here. Our lowest.
Well, we were cage free, statewide cage free. So we're never going to go back down to $2 a dozen or $1 a dozen. Yeah. You know, because we went full cage free. All eggs must be cage free. So
yeah,
we're going to be paying more for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When we get duck eggs too, we only got one duck egg today. They don't come as often as chicken eggs. Plus the ducks are stressed because of the chickens that are the little ones. They're twice her size or bigger. We put them in there because, like I said, the other hens and the rooster would attack them. So we put them in the duck pen, and the ducks are having a fit, but they don't attack them. You know, they just quack a lot. And the biggest one, there's 2 females in there, and the biggest one, which is Nibbles, it's Nibbles and Niblet, and Nibbles, poor thing, she's panting like a dog. And I Googled it, and it's like, well, it could be under stress, blah, blah, blah. It could be dehydrated. Make sure they're in the shade. All those boxes are checked. They're pampered to no end. I feed them.
Yeah, maybe their student loans are due or something.
Yeah.
That'll stress you out.
Yeah.
Or didn't come in.
By the way, the font that you have on the names is pretty cool.
Yeah, that has a name. I don't know what it is off the top of my head, but that font has a name. Oh, they all do, rather, but that one, kind of a famous one. I can't think of what it is.
Yakko Cat, Foghorn, Leghorn, and Chicken Horn.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we named a lot of our chickens. We got Buttercup. We got Snow White.
That one was a flop.
Yeah.
Or that stupid woke movie came.
Yeah, we're just gonna ignore that one.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah. It's just funny. It's just funny.
Oh shit!
It's like the old
social media has gone into an absolute meltdown over.
Yeah, it's been a real
that person.
Well, it's like the old joke. You know, I used to be Snow White, but then I drifted. You know, but she's a beautiful bird. She was Snow White when I named her, but now she's got a little bit of, you know, the taupe color feathers, you know, and mixed in. But she's mostly white yet. But then, yeah, there's a lot of birds out there that we've named. We got Marcy, and we got Darcy, we got Tux, we got Eve. Eve was the one that hatched on New Year's Eve, which is why I named her Eve.
I thought maybe she was the first one.
No, Adam.
No, Adam. Yeah, you never know. But yeah, so and then I had a pleco die today. I had a goldfish die yesterday. A fantail goldfish, real pretty one.
Oh yeah.
So you know, it's part of the.
Yeah, good one, Mr. Kitty.
Yeah, good one. What's Snow White? An overly noisy brown hen with an attitude.
Yeah.
And an inflated sense of self-worth.
Exactly.
who felt their opinion was so important, but it turns out not as much as they thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll leave my commentary alone. I think it'll be a little bit too controversial if I made any statements, so I'll just leave them alone.
Yeah, it's just funny. That's all. The whole thing is funny to me.
Yeah, I know.
Personally, I think if you want to make that movie, make it. Far. Yeah, they've gone too far. Well, I've said this many times. As a quote unquote minority or a person of color, I think that it's ridiculous to take existing stories and race swap them. Why not just make a new story?
Yeah. Well, Michael.
How crazy is that?
Remember Michael Jackson?
Just make a whole new story.
They did Wizard of Oz. Remember that with Michael Jackson?
Yeah, but they called it The Wiz, and at least it was all black production. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm almost okay with that. Although it's still a little bit weird. You know, I mean, weird. You know, I just don't get why why not just make a new story? That's all I can say about it. Why take the Little Mermaid and make her black? Why take Snow White and make her Latino? Why
black
not
people
just
can't swim.
crazily just have a new story called
whatever?
Give me a God, I can't think of it, Felicia or something.
Felicia
Yeah, or something. You know.
Mm.
Yeah, well, whatever. Just make a different story that happens to star a female, and ta-da, make that movie. Why reconfigure a beloved classic that was written from an area of the world that has zero brown people, you know, especially at that time, and just
they had the Wicked Witch. She was green. She had color. The Wicked Witch of the West. She was green.
Yeah.
She was a lady.
I'll get you.
Yeah, and that's I mean, it just doesn't make any sense to me to do that. Why?
There's not
just make a new story, man.
That's why.
Yeah, they have no sense of they have no creativity, none. They just got to remake old shit.
Yep.
Even if they made them all white, I don't care. Why do you keep remaking old shit? It's ridiculous.
You know the not the Christmas. What's the one with the Jimmy Stewart was in? What's it called?
It's a Wonderful Life.
Wonderful Life.
Yeah, we went on the website of the gal that played the little tiny girl. She's a really old lady.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so she autographed a bunch of stuff for us, and and we bought like tons of, I love that movie. I love it so much I couldn't remember the name. But I mean I do love that movie. So it's a great story for our everyday lives to be grateful for what we have, because it could be so much worse.
Right.
Although I fantasize a lot about going back to when I was a child and both of my parents were alive, and and happy times with my brothers, and
right.
That would be great.
Yeah, making different decisions. That's usually the one that I will lay in bed and think sometimes that, what if I would have this? You know what I mean?
There are movies.
What would be different?
Movies, and there's that one. I think there's a movie called. Well, there's one called Sliding Doors, and there's one.
Yeah, Sliding Doors is a really great movie.
It's a really good one.
And then there's the Butterfly Effect is the other one.
Oh, that's the first one is fantastic. Yeah. The second one's not as good. I didn't think. And then I think there is a movie called What If.
Yeah. Well, there was definitely a show called What If, but that was a Marvel thing. What if Spider-Man, had Down syndrome or whatever?
But the whole premise of having time travel.
Yeah.
Right.
Back to the Future. I mean, it's a classic in its own right,
Yeah, Back to the Future really opens it up.
Yeah. So, and who knows? I mean, we live on
sliders
space.
Sliders, yeah, that's
actually possible.
That was it. Yeah, there was what was the other one with Bruce Willis and Joseph Gordon-Levitt?
Yeah, where he jumped back and he was him.
Jump shot. No,
it's jumpers, sliders, not sliders, jumpers, swoopers,
jumpers.
Something like that. Yeah.
I remember that.
Skaters, boppers, it was something.
Something like that. But yeah.
You just look it up real quick.
Yeah.
Right.
That was another Bruce Willis movie where he's barely in it.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt or Levitt.
Yeah. He was still had his shit together a little bit for that one.
Yeah.
Called Looper.
Yeah. Looper. You think it's Looper?
Looper. Close
Looper.
enough.
There you go. Looper. There you go. Good enough.
Okay.
Yeah. Good deal.
Oh,
and it was something like that. I've never seen it, to be honest with you. I thought the premise was a little bit
it's really good.
Worn out. Is it good?
Yeah, it's very good. Yeah. He actually fights against himself, which is bizarre.
Right. Well, he's sent back to kill himself, or he's sent forward to kill himself, or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't mind the Black Spider-Man dude, but he's not Peter Parker. He's another Spider-Man. That's different. You know what I mean? I'm okay with it. I was okay with Spider-Woman. I'm okay with She-Hulk. I'm okay with a second Captain America because they didn't his name wasn't Steve Rogers. I'm okay with that even. Well, you know, it's the idea that you're going to take an established character and suddenly race swap them for another thing when it doesn't make any goddamn sense. When he's from Germany or he's from, you know, Poland or some shit, you know, as a Polish character. It's just.
Well, look how many 007s we've had.
Right.
Yeah. But they're all true to the form, you know, other than the latest one. Apparently it's a black lesbian woman or whatever.
Right.
You know,
really?
Put a chicken in it, make a gay. Yeah, I guess the last movie, the girl is taking over for him as like a black lesbian or something like that.
Oh.
Regardless, even that's okay because 007 is just a designation of an agent.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It could be anyone. It could be anyone.
It's like
you know what I mean? That's
something.
Yeah. I mean, it could be anyone. You know, I'm fine with that too. I'm even fine with the G.I. Joe thing where, you know, they had a bunch of different because being in the Joes is a group. You know what I mean? It's like being in the Navy and expecting the same guy to be in charge forever. Of course not. You know, and they've had some good ones like Colonel Fury, you know, Nick Fury. You know, they put Samuel Jackson in that spot. Yeah. And I thought that was, I don't know, it went over pretty well. You know, considering that Nick Fury was a gruff white guy from World War II.
Right.
Nick Fury and the Howling Commandos. Oh. And he became the leader of S.H.I.E.L.D. I'm a big Marvel comic books guy. Yeah. Then they made him a black guy for the movies, and it was a little bit weird, but it went over reasonably well. So it can work, but iconic, you know, it's like Thor or something like that. It doesn't make any sense to me. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
So going back to the drone meetup today, won the 3 TVs. One of them was Dusty. Who are the other two?
I can't remember.
TV? Did you say TV?
Yeah, they gave away a couple 30-inch.
I sent Captain Ray. I gave
on site.
Yeah. I sent Captain Ray 3 32-inch high definition TVs from Amazon. They're fire.
That's very nice of you, but how do you get them home?
That's their problem.
I know, right? Get ready for the phone calls because we gave away a damn battery bank, and the guy demanded that we pay for the shipping back to England.
Yeah, well,
me and Billy gave away a battery bank.
I just say, well, sorry, bloke.
Yeah, sorry,
well, you know, I asked that question to Ray. I said, what if somebody is flying and can they? And I asked that today even to Lloyd. I said, if you win the TV, how are you going to get? Yeah, I said, can you check it as baggage? And he goes, yeah, I think so. You know, I mean, they're still boxed and they ship them all over the world, so I don't know why not. But what was that? I missed your. What did you say?
Oh, he's into meritocracy, which is what most thinking people are. Quite frankly, it's almost an IQ. It's almost an IQ test if you're for meritocracy or not. If you're not for meritocracy, you're an effing idiot as far as I'm concerned. Mm-hmm. People always be judged based on merit. I don't give a damn. Me and MLK are like this on that subject. You know, should always be judged on the content of your character and your merit and what you do. Yeah. You know, everything else is, you know, shouldn't matter. You should always be judged on the merit.
Yeah.
Period.
Now, Lloyd won one of the flags from
Chris Hope.
Casey. Yeah.
Oh, Bob Casey. Not Chris Hope?
Bob Casey made those flags, and Lloyd won.
Oh, yeah, because Bill told me that on the 8th, they're going to a UPS store so they can ship it or to a UPS. I don't know if it's a UPS store, but they're going to go to some place to ship that flag back to his address.
Cool beans.
Very cool.
Everybody's saying Barkley won the Air 3S, I guess.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, they had some nice drones that they gave away. A lot of good gifts, you know.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And then I asked Captain Ray to give the 5 spinners, the South Florida Drone Meetup spinners that I sent. There was 100 of them, so I said, please give 5 to Ray, and then, Ray to Bill.
Bill.
And Bill's going to send me one. And he's going to have 4 to give away on his show.
Oh, okay.
Cool beans.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. I don't know if there was any of those left over or not. But at some point, somebody asked, and I think I did too, like how many people showed up, and it was like 93 on the list, but some people brought kids and
wives.
And that somebody said this during the stream, like Paul, he had his wife and his child there.
Yep.
I guess they all got something because they all had tickets, and it's like, I think 1 ticket per family should be the policy, not 1 ticket per person. Because if you have 12 kids, clean house.
A shit ton of prizes there. Somebody was going to win some. Everybody was going to win something.
Everybody was going to win something. You can't hardly leave. They shove stuff at you.
Other than Bill didn't get a thing. He didn't come away.
He didn't get a ticket though. He didn't put in a ticket. He couldn't have, because everybody won something. There's no way you did when they were giving away T-shirts and shit.
No,
they were 3 hours in giving shit away.
My name in there. Is my name in there?
Well, it's a number. It's not a name anyway. He probably wasn't paying attention. I bet he wasn't paying attention and it went past him.
Don't know.
Right? No damn way he didn't win anything. That's insane.
Yeah, he did.
I didn't win anything because we left. We bailed we took off during the giveaway last year.
Was it Barkley that won his own gift? They called Barkley's number or name, and it was Barkley's gift, so they redrew.
Could have been. It wouldn't surprise me none,
Yeah. He looked different this year, though.
Who, Barkley?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I didn't see him.
I couldn't tell because it was so fuzzy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bill broke out the potato. I think he broke out the Logitech 920 or something, or the 910, or whatever he's got.
Bob Casey.
Yeah, he was using the camera on the laptop.
Oh.
Yeah.
It was Bob Casey that looked different. Did Bob Casey have a beard last year?
Yeah, he shaved.
Yeah, he shaved. It was Bob. It was.
Yeah, because last year he had that big beard and then he cut it all off.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, in 2023, was the only year I had been there, I got a tap on the shoulder and I turned around and I was like, I'm not used to looking up. And I went like that, and I go, oh my God. I said, you're not going to punch me, are you? That's the first thing that came out of my mouth without even thinking. And he looks at me and he goes, why would I punch you? The reason I said that was I never explained this to anybody, but so you're the first to hear this. My big brother, he's 8 years older than I am. He used to beat the snot out of me, and I used to always look at him and So it was like a flashback a little bit,
Oh.
Yeah.
Hey, Ed.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they even gave away what was that?
The drone community. Yeah.
What was that? Oh, the hover. The X1 hover, I think it's called.
Oh, the old one, not the new one.
Yeah, I think it was.
I wonder if Marcus donated that one, because I know I'm not sure, but I think he got one from Hover. I can't remember though. It might have been Marcus or who knows who.
My dog's
pretty cool.
So let me go look at what's going on.
The dogs are barking. Woof, woof.
You let the dogs out. Woof, woof, woof.
I don't even have a hard copy of the poster with the drone people on it, because that shit don't make it home with me. I'm just being honest. I keep telling these guys, don't give me shit like that, bro. Because it probably won't even make it home. Yeah. So, Art.
What?
Have you seen the? We just talked about this yesterday. But have you seen the latest Mavic 4 leaks? They're pretty interesting.
No, I haven't, but I'm sure you're gonna.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. That's all. It's just they're trying their best to come up with reasons for people to buy it. Quite frankly, it's gonna be like $2,200 though. So that's for the standard. Well, the Mavic 3 was 21 or so by itself, and the Flymore was it was like $3,000 to get the Flymore combo with the regular remote.
Right.
It was $3,800 to get the Mavic 3 Flymore combo with the RC Pro. It was $3,800. So it was never nickels and dimes, you know what I mean?
Right.
So you gotta pay to play is what they say. You know what I mean?
Hey, Brenda. Yep.
Oh yeah, it's Brenda.
When the Avata 2 came out, that I bought that. I saw Dono's video about it, and he's, when I watch his videos, I go, oh yeah, I'll go get that. And that's what I did with the Avata 1. I saw his video about it, and I went and bought one. Yeah. So
have you been happy with it?
I liked them both. I wish I still
there you go
kept the 2, but I needed the cash, and I got a good PC out of it. So now I'm doing the show from the PC instead of the laptop. Yep.
As long as you're happy, that's what all that matters.
Yep. Got this Alienware. The only thing that needed was a new power supply.
Oh, that's
it was
right.
always shutting down when I first got it, and I went and got a 850 watt power supply, put that in, and it runs great. Then I had another PC that I got in the trade, and it had a 3070 graphics card, and this had the 2070. So I swapped it, put that in this thing, and works great.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it's got the 10th gen i7 in it with 32 gigs of RAM. Yep. It came with 16, but I added the other 16 to it. Yeah.
You're quite the little computer guy over there.
Back in the day, I used to build computers for people.
Yeah, I've done that.
Throw parts together and, hey, Art, I need a 486, this speed.
Yeah.
I'd go out and look for parts and cobble them together. And
486, that was a few years back.
That was back in the day.
Shit. I was just gonna keep it to myself, but I was there thinking, holy shit. And then he got him an AOL card.
Yeah, go back and get a 286.
Yeah.
Yeah, five and
up the
a
AOL.
quarter inch floppy.
Yeah.
A floppy disk.
When I started my software company, it was pre-internet, so that dates me too.
Yeah.
And my family was like, when I started the company, they were like, "What? What are you talking about? There's no money in software or hardware.
There's no money in computers.
Yeah, multi-billion.
Nobody's gonna want a computer in their house. Are you crazy?
Yeah. Yeah. My ex used to go, I hope you are going to be able to cook that because that's what we're going to be eating for dinner.
Now you're eating his lunch.
Yeah.
Nah. Yeah, I took computer programming. We had a cassette for a backup.
Yeah,
that's how far back I go.
Oh,
a cassette drive for backup.
Yep, I had one of those.
8-inch floppy disks.
I still have a floppy disk in my closet. There was a company I worked for that was called CPT Word Processing, and we're out of Eden Prairie, Minnesota.
Right.
And CPT used to stand for cassette-powered typewriter. But when the floppy disk came out, they changed it to computer-powered typewriter. And it was dedicated word processors. And Wang was a competitor of ours because the
Wang, I remember those.
Uh-huh.
hadn't even been released, much less having, like word processing software. Jenny, be nice to the baby. Hi. You are nice to the baby.
Yeah.
She
Who
just
remembers the VIC 20
Yeah,
or the Commodore?
Commodore
And
64.
64. Yeah, Commodore
Commodore
64.
I never got into the
How about the
Commodore
Tandies?
64. That's what I cut my teeth on when I was programming.
TI
I learned programming on my
99,
computer.
yep.
trash 80s.
Yeah,
Crash 80s.
Yeah, yeah.
I had the Sinclair 1000.
yep.
Yeah.
Well, I used to have
Or Sinclair Timex 1000.
Yep.
Ataris.
That's what I had.
We never got into the Commodores. We sold Ataris, and then we sold Texas Instrument.
Yep.
Yeah.
The TI 99 and the TI
I was
99.
just going to say the TI 99. Yeah.
Yeah.
I still have some out there.
Yeah.
I've got a brand
Yeah.
new. I think it's called. Hang on, Jin. Be nice to it. Be nice to the baby. She's so sweet. She would adopt anything and be the mama. Come here. Up.
Uh-huh.
Up.
Or remember Coleco? They used to have pizza.
Yeah, ColecoVision.
Yeah.
ColecoVision.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll go get one of my. Yeah, when I started my company. No, actually, I didn't start it in Dallas, but I soon moved to Dallas, and because I was in Dallas, Texas Instrument was right there, so we sold them for them.
Wow.
So yeah.
Yeah. One of the first computers. Well, I couldn't afford a computer, so I had web TV. It was a cable service where you got internet over your cable service on your TV. And it was slow. You click on a website, get up, make a sandwich, take a piss. Huh?
Yeah. Yeah, like teletext.
It was crazy slow.
1200 over 75.
Yeah, it was dead slow. You click on a website, you get up, make a sandwich, take a piss.
Yeah.
It was crazy. And the first computer I bought was it just went away. Gold. They're not in business anymore.
Uh-huh.
It seemed like they were out of Denver. Starts with a G. Gold something. Gold. God dang it.
Goldfinger.
No. It was. They were big for like 5 minutes. Old computer company. Somebody's gonna come up with that. I don't know why I can't think of it. Huh?
Remember Compaq?
Yep.
And Packard Bell?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
DEC, I remember that. Commodore Tandy, Apple, IBM.
Yep.
Yep.
What was it called? Gold something.
Yeah. I
Gold
remember that
Star?
movie.
Oh.
No. Did somebody come up with it? Not yet.
Nope. I hear
computer
this
company
sound. Is that Alexa's chip or chick chirping?
Could be, yeah.
Gateway.
Oh, yeah, Gateway. Yeah.
Yeah, Gateway.
They were big for 5 minutes.
Yeah. I used to
for like 5-10 minutes. They were big.
I used to buy Gateway laptops, refurbish them, turn around, sell them on eBay.
Yeah.
Because what I do is I go to the police auction. This was an actual police auction here in Denver. And I'd go over and check out the laptops, and I'd get an HP laptop, and there might be something wrong with a broken screen or something. And back then, you could easily fix those laptops because, and they were rugged too, and they were heavy, some of them, but they had 17-inch screens and maybe 500 gigabyte hard drives, and that was like, wow, that's huge.
500. I remember for like 16 gigs was a big deal. Yeah. Like you had not even a gig, like a half a gig of RAM.
Yep.
It was like in the Ks, right? 500K.
800 megabyte hard drive. I thought, wow, I can store
Wow.
And then we got to the
on
1
that.
gigabyte, and everybody got excited.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. And they cost like $500 too.
Mm.
Maybe not that much, they were expensive. Yeah, I'll never forget that gateway because I got it. I didn't have credit, right? I'm a hood rat. But I was late at night watching Home Shopping Network, and they had it with a 32-inch screen and the computer, and they way overcharged me for it. I bet I paid like $300 a month on that thing for probably 5 years. Who knows?
Oh my God.
I probably paid on it a year after it broke, probably, but after it quit working. But I paid on it forever. I had a 32-inch monitor. I thought I was a man. People would come over and they're like, wow. 32-inch LCD was a big deal.
Yeah.
Like, wow. People come over, oh my God. Nowadays, it's a piece of junk. Yeah, it had like an S video going in.
Our first,
It still had the RCAs going in.
Right.
Yeah.
our first flat screen was a plasma, and it's a 50 or 55 inch. I still have it out in the loft area. It was about 12 other TVs.
And then you had the old projector TVs.
Oh my God, that thing got so hot you could roast a hot dog on it.
Yeah.
The plasma, I had a plasma Panasonic, and it left a black mark when I finally got rid of it. There was not black, but it was a dark area where the TV was. Those bad boys got hot.
Look for that.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
There you go.
I remember
Look at
that.
that old dog.
I remember
Yikes.
those.
I remember when these came
Nice.
out, and I was like salivating. I was like, oh my God. Especially when
So awesome.
do you remember what they did with this port on the end? Well, they did a few things, but you remember the big
That was
thing?
a cartridge, right?
Port.
It was this.
Yeah. Well,
Like a
it
tape
was
drive?
an expansion port.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
speech
speech synthesizer.
Oh my God. There you
Right.
go. It's kind of like the Mattel, I'd go, strike out, it would be like real choppy, But yeah, and then I don't know what the heck they did. They had something that slid in there too, but I don't remember. It's been too many years.
Kind of modules or something.
This thing here snapped into there like that. Oh, I know what they did with this on the end, though. They used to have this great big, I finally threw them all. I think I had one left, but they weighed a ton, and they had these really big, and they had ribbon cables that were like that wide and that thick that came out. They were just like, but it was like memory cards and hard drives or something that went in there. And oh my God, it was like lead. I finally just threw them in a dumpster somewhere. But yeah, and then the cartridges.
Yep.
Like here.
Yep.
Yep.
I know what this one is. Oh, Munchman. It's like Pac-Man.
Yeah.
Munchman.
Well, people, there are collectors that are looking for TI-99s like that. So you might be able to get a pretty penny for them on eBay if you.
Yeah. This here, this is well, the glue finally let loose right there, but it's never been used. It's brand new in the box.
Wow, you might. Be
Yeah, and it probably has a F and S video out max. It might be a VGA out. So good luck hooking that up to anything.
No.
It might have a cable splitter. Actually, I might be wrong. It might have a cable splitter on it. It might even have an antenna splitter. Remember those?
Yeah. Yep. There you go.
The antenna.
Cable splitter? Is it
Yep.
antenna splitter or cable splitter?
A TV selector.
Can't tell.
It's never been opened.
Can't tell. Is it cable? Probably a cable splitter. That's funny.
Let's see.
What was that other hookup? D something. D video. D.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't have the 75 ohm screw in. It's just got the ribbon cable with the
Cable. Oh.
yeah. So that's
Yeah. That's
on
yeah,
the slider switch. It says game and TV.
right.
Oh
You
yeah.
have the old analog TV
Yeah, look, it's never
on the back.
Look at this.
Yeah.
It's still brand new.
Wow.
Yeah, there you go. You gotta go hook it up to something.
I don't want to use it. I don't want to be able not to say it's never been used.
Right.
But anyway, in fact, it doesn't even come out of the jack with it.
It doesn't even want to come out. No.
Yeah.
Now my buddy had the first Pong. His mom was a director of.
Yeah.
He had the first Pong. You know the first game where literally it was the two paddles, tennis.
Yeah.
If it had something in the middle, it was tennis. If you hit it both the same direction, it was handball. And if there were little goals, it was hockey. But it was basically the same gameplay.
Yeah. My dad
you know what I mean?
my birthday back when I was like 12 or 13.
Yeah. You get shocks off that thing. If you weren't careful, you came in kind of damp from outside and you touched it, you get a shock.
Remember those?
Oh, yeah, Atari Lynx, yeah.
Oh, wow.
This is the first one.
This kid.
I've got probably 20 of these.
It's about 1989, I think.
Well, I had a dealership. This one is the first one because it's about, well, this is open. This has been used. I think I can.
Mid to late 90s.
Hey, can I speak to someone from Hoarders, please? Yeah, I got the next show for you. Yeah.
Look how big this thing is.
I'll hold.
Yeah, that's
your next victim.
Color screen.
Yeah, this was the first color handheld game unit.
Yeah, it's about 1988, I reckon.
And then they came out with what they called the Lynx Roman numeral 2, which is about this big, and I've got a bunch of those out there too.
Yeah, I think that was about 91, the second one.
Preloaded games? Games or cartridges?
Cartridge.
Yeah.
Cartridge game.
So use the Atari cartridges from the main console. Same cartridge or a different cartridge?
It was
different
just to
cartridges.
this. And then
That's too bad.
No, it was
No, I'm just saying it would have been nice for the general public if you could use the same cartridges.
You don't sell me
2600. But Atari 2600 cartridges are pretty large.
Yeah, I've got a collection of those that people are drooling over. They can't wait till I die.
Right.
And then like I've got some games for this thing that are on printed circuit boards that were never released. And I just happened to stumble on them I bought a big box of something off of eBay. Then I said, where did you get all this? Because they didn't know what was in there. And I go, and I didn't know what was in there. And they said, oh, it was just an estate sale. And they had a bid on them. I was the highest bidder, and I got them for a little bit of nothing because nobody knew what they were doing. And so when I got them, I was like, there's like 4 different printed circuit boards that had never been released. So I did some research on AtariAge.com. And so I put them on eBay many years ago, and I put like a reservation of $2,000 on one cartridge, and people were like right up against that, and they're like, what is your reserve price? And I go, I can't tell you that, so I said, just keep bidding. So nobody ever bought them. I put it up so high, so they would probably sell today for over that, I would think, because they just are valuable because they were never released.
Yeah, I'm not you, man. I throw too much stuff away. I had the Neo Geo, I had the Dreamcast, I had original Sega. Everybody and their brother had original Sega. You know what I mean? I had an Atari 2600 and the 5200. So.
I've got all the Ataris right now still in my collection except for the ST lineup. And I used to have all those, the 520 ST, the 1040 ST. But I threw them all out or sold them all over the years after I got divorced, But
I moved and tossed a lot of that shit. I wanted to go light. I mean, I literally just threw everything away, basically, or sold it. So
I gave a bunch of Atari trackballs. I still have a couple, but these were brand new in the box. I gave them to Goodwill after my divorce. I just went to one of those collection boxes and opened up the bin and just kept tossing them in.
Yeah, I tell you, it hit the pinnacle as far as I'm concerned with the PSP.
I've got them.
For the handheld, that was the pinnacle as far as I'm concerned. Still is. The Switch. I don't think the Switch is better, in my opinion.
Yeah, I've got the Switch right here. In fact, I have a bit of a trouble with my Switch here today.
Yeah.
I put in one of my favorite games, Splatoon, but this is Splatoon 2.
Oh yeah.
This thing won't read my card. It says, please, I select the game, and then it says, please insert the cartridge, and the cartridge is already in. So I looked at it closer, and some of the fixes on YouTube were saying one of my pins might be bent, but I don't think so. It's been babied like everything. But then we got this one here too. Remember these?
Funny the stuff they used to came out. This thing was a phone. You could watch movies. You know. Oh, the PS Vita. Yeah. It's interesting. Some of the stuff that came out with back in the day, and now they're reintroducing it like it's new. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like remote play. This thing had remote play. You know, you could remote play. If you had a PS3 at the house turned on and you had internet wherever you were with your PSP, you can remote play.
Right.
You know, your game.
Yeah.
No, Jim, I ended up not going. Billy decided he didn't want to go, so.
Yeah.
Hi, Face. What are you doing, little girl? Hi, JJ. Why don't you go get in your bed?
That's what I'm saying. I got like 50 cartridges for this stupid thing. I just bought everything that came out for it. I've been GameStop like every week, basically. Buying anything come out with the PSP? Yeah, take it. I'll take it. I played Parappa the Rapper for about 5,000 hours. Wow. But yeah, it's interesting. But quite frankly, nothing's gonna beat the phone. Our phones, I don't even know why I don't even know why they're still trying. To tell you the truth, the average phone will smoke the Switch, and the Switch 2. So it's got its cool points, though, I gotta say.
Nope.
No, you can use the thing I did kill cat. Like when I was in North Carolina, I lived in Greenville, and Greenville had citywide Wi-Fi because of the college.
Oh.
So I could use Skype on my PSP. It wasn't technically a phone. I hooked up a headset to it and I used Skype. So I could make phone calls on it.
Yeah.
Because Skype used to have just an audio only service as well as the video service.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, that's what Ken. Well, your buddy Ken Herron used to use on his show, and that went away quite a bit ago. Does anybody use Skype anymore? I don't think so.
I'm not sure. I think Zoom killed it.
I think it's been discontinued.
The old Nintendo 3DS.
What I think was Microsoft bought it and they integrated it into Teams. Don't quote me on that. That's what I reckon. It went in that direction.
What the hell is that? That sounds familiar. Why does that sound familiar? Oh,
64-bit.
Oh, 64-bit. That's good.
And then I could go all night, so I'm not gonna do that to y'all. But I have an extensive collection. Just because.
Yeah, apparently. Yeah.
This is an Atari 400, but it looks more like Atari 800.
Wow.
I froze up.
Nope.
No, you're good.
Oh, there we go. Because Atari 400 had the flat keypad like the old McDonald's things,
Oh, okay.
This actually has keys, and it was a kit that you bought from a place called B Key, like the letter B.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So you could take this thing apart, remove that flat pushy button. I don't know what they call them.
Right.
Yeah. Put in an actual key.
Membrane keyboard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
And then, of course, your cartridges, they go in here.
Right. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
And then the Atari 800 had 2 cartridge slots, but they never really used the right slot for too much of anything. There was a couple oddities that came out, but usually it was just the left slot. But yeah.
Gotcha.
Hard drive and cassette decks would go into port there.
Right.
Yeah. That was where you put your power in, that's your on-off switch.
Right.
Oh, yeah, big ass switch. That's hilarious. For the on off, it's insane. It's like a light switch stuck to the side of there. No, Jim, Billy's not testing the Mavic 4. Otherwise I wouldn't be here.
Must have it.
Yeah, the Europeans have it.
I should check to see if anybody I know has it in Australia.
I haven't heard about anyone in Australia.
Because I know a few people have got the Matrice 4.
Yeah. I don't know. I know that Drone Supremacy and guys like that, but of course he's in Spain or somewhere, right?
Yeah, I think the Europeans and the Australians will get it quicker.
Well, it's just because we're having so many issues getting shit in the country. It's the problem. So, and the worm keeps turning because they were saying that it's going to be delayed till May 13th or something. And now the rumors are kind of turning again, and they're saying it's still coming out the 24th. So I guess we'll see. But it'll be a delayed launch here. I can promise you that. It's going to be like the Neo. When the Neo launched, it launched in Europe, and then we didn't see it for like a month or whatever it was. Or the Air 3S definitely was like that. So we'll see how it goes.
Right.
I think the key is whether or not they can get them in the country or not. That's the key.
Smuggle them in.
But they're not going to delay their overall launch for us, I don't think. I wouldn't. But then again, they might want to be trying to get them in before the tariff, too. Because I don't know when the tariffs actually hit. I know they announced them, but I'm not sure what the dates of efficacy is. I'm not sure. Yeah, collector, hoarder, use whatever phrase you want. He goes, I think Alexis is a collector. I go, collector, hoarder, use your own terms. But yeah, so we'll see. It's gonna be a troubled launch, just like the Air 3S, unfortunately. There's no getting around it. Yeah. So it is what it is, man. We just gotta deal the cars. I'll probably jump in my car and drive to Canada, to tell you the truth. If Canada has a day one, I'm just going to jump in my car and drive to Canada. It's like 2 hours from here. Especially the way I drive. 2 hours, man. And pick it up. Screw it. As opposed to ordering it. And it took me 3 weeks to get my Air 3S. And the whole time, up until the day it was on my doorstep, I'm like, just waiting for it to get delayed or held or some shit. So, Sega Dreamcast, N64. There's so many of those game systems that have come and gone. What are you guys doing? Studying for an exam or something?
Yeah. I'm just sending out links to other people that might want to come and watch the show.
Okay. So anyway, we'll see what happens. I'll probably get it. I want the controller, if nothing else. If it comes out day one, the controller will work the Air 3S. I'll just buy the controller and be done with it. But Adorama offered me $1,000 for my Air 3S. So I might just sell it to them. It's a little bit of a loss because I got 2 years of Care Refresh and $200 and some hard case and $100 variable ND filter and me. A bunch of extra stuff, but oh well, you gotta pay to play. Yeah. Yep. It's only money, Art. I'm not independently wealthy like you are, buddy, but you got all that pot of gold money or whatever it is. Yeah. You got to be stashing away. Or from the mines of Mordor or whatever. Sure. And Dominic saves all that money from, Australians don't have to work or pay money for anything. Everything's free over there, which is cool. Yep. Mm-hmm. The British Empire pays for all their stuff because they're still a penal colony. So that's kind of cool for them.
Yep. He said penal.
Giggity.
And we just sit around and watch football all day.
Yep.
You don't have to do anything. That's so cool. You guys just get checks in the mail.
Yeah, oh, wicked.
Every so often they do a quick contraband check. As long as you come out clean, you're good to go. That's kind of cool. I'd go to prison if it was a Escape from New York style scenario where you could just fight your way to the top, and you're locked up with women. You know what I mean? You can do whatever you want. I'd go back in the military if it was like Starship Troopers, where you have all the girls in the military all smoking hot, and you took showers together and stuff.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yep.
What the hell? I didn't get any of that.
Yep.
When I was in.
Get attacked by spiders. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, big arachnids.
Yep.
Yeah. It's a short life, but a merry one. A lot of excitement, a lot of banging and tents and stuff. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Two hottest girls in the galaxy want you, so not too bad. I love that movie, Starship Troopers. I don't know why, because it is kind of a goofy movie.
Yeah.
But Denise Richardson, though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, baby.
There's
one right there we never mentioned. Denise Richardson.
Yeah.
And Wild Things, especially. Oh my God. Her and the chick from Five of Us, or what was it? Party of Five.
Yeah.
Party of Five. She was the oldest sister. And she was in that movie with Kevin Bacon, right? Kevin Bacon and someone else. Wild Things.
Oh.
Dude. Was it Wild Things, Tom? Right?
Yeah.
Is it Wild Things? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think it's called Wild Things, yeah.
Yeah. That is you see Denise Richardson and the chick, I can't think of her name right now. It's almost coming to me. It's really close. But the chick from Party of Five, you see him in different lights. It's like Elizabeth What's-Her-Nuts from Saved by the Bell when she was in that movie Showgirls.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa. It'd be like if you found a Shirley Temple porn. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? It would be like if you found a Shirley Temple was in a porn when she was 19 kind of thing. It'd be the same kind of thing almost. You're like, whoa. Whoa, it was like wholesome, then whoosh. It's like Christina Aguilera from the Mickey Mouse Club to the whole club. You know what I mean? It was like, holy crap. MIC, see everything you got because you barely weren't any clothes. It's like Hannah Montana to Miley Cyrus, swinging on a ball naked. The Hannah Montana to swinging on a ball naked.
Yep.
So it's pretty interesting. Just guys that keep themselves spotless. Solitary.
How about Britney Spears? Yeah, she was a Mouseketeer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's a skeezeteer. No, that's another one. Yeah. It's like yikes. Yeah. You almost feel bad. You almost feel dirty.
Yeah.
You're like, quick Google search. How old is Britney Spears? At the time, I'm saying back then, you're like, oh my God. Yeah, you're like, oh, wait a minute.
42, I think now.
Yeah. I'm just saying back then, you're like, whoa. And you go, oh, wait a minute. Like, how old is make a Google search real quick so you don't have to feel like a pervert. But it turns out she was like 19 or 20 or something like that. She's running around the high school in a mini skirt, and you're like, oh, wait a minute. Let's do a quick age check.
Oh, like Harley Quinn? Yeah.
Harley Quinn, that chick?
Yeah. Suicide Squad, yeah.
Yeah.
Played by Margot Robbie.
Yeah,
Margot Robbie. Yeah.
Yeah.
But she's well in the age. She's like 30s, right? When she did that movie. She was in Wolf of Wall Street. She was in her 20s. And that was, frick, that was a minute ago. So that's like Anna Paquin. That's another one. Anna Paquin, when she was in True Blood. You're like, she's like getting all naked. You didn't think it was going to happen. You know, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, whatever. And then all of a sudden, boom, you're like, no way. I never thought we were going to see the Anna Paquin boobies. I didn't think that was going to happen. And then all of a sudden, there they were. And I'm like, I can't believe it. Anna Paquin in the love scene. You're like,
what?
Fly Away Home. She was the chicken Fly Away Home, right? About the duck, the geese or whatever.
I think so,
The geese were lost or injured, and her and her dad, Dennis Quaid, made a ultralight, and they trained the geese to follow her, and so they led them back to Canada.
Ah, okay. Did they check the passports? Huh?
I don't think so.
That was before ADSB.
Okay.
Yeah, that was before ADSB. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Nah.
Well, they've got medication for that now.
Do they? How about ADSC though?
No,
See, they're still studying that one. ADSC.
Mm-hmm. Yep. ADS STD. Yeah.
Oh, snap.
Yeah.
So that's when your drone gets corrupted by ADS.
Some people
ADSB.
Syria. Yeah.
So here's a drone topic for like 10 minutes. What do you think about all the uptick and all these goofy ass drone incidents where they're finding them? The Bat Boy swatted one out of the air the other day at a game.
Oh,
At a game. Yeah, he literally they're just hovering over the field, and the Bat Boy ran out and swatted it with a bat.
wow.
I didn't even hear that.
You know,
I didn't hear about it. Wow.
Yeah, and it's like, gee whiz, I wonder why people can do that now. Oh yeah, that's right. DJI pulled all the NFCs everybody was crying about. Yeah, so somebody go to Walmart or somewhere, Costco, and buy a Mini 3 or Mini 4 or whatever and fly it right into the middle of a stadium during a game.
Wow.
You know?
How could you do that without getting signal loss? That's you have to be somewhere where you get a
probably flying it from the stadium.
Yeah, or from a tall building. It don't have to be, you could be 4 or 5 miles away.
Right.
You know what I mean? So if it's an open stadium.
They're downtown and the buildings are above. So yeah.
Yeah, if you're flying above it, I could see that. But if you get down into the stadium, you'd lose signal.
Not if a skyscraper was like, if you go to a lot of these cities, they're
right.
Stadiums are right downtown.
Right.
Yeah.
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 It's not rocket.
I don't know. The penetration is really good on some of these drones. I'm just saying.
You said
it's not penetration. No, if it's an open, if it's an open arena, I feel pretty confident. I could go test it tomorrow. I don't think there's a game tomorrow. I could go down there. We have an open stadium for the not minor league team. We have a minor league team here in town.
Yeah,
I could just go to the stadium to see if I can fly into it. Worst thing can happen is I'll lose signal. It'll go up and come back to me. But I'm pretty sure I could get in there pretty good. I don't know how close to the ground I could get.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jeff Daniels. Thanks, Don. Jeff Daniels, Jeff Bridges, whatever.
Yeah.
That's an old movie.
Yeah, that is an old movie. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I just have to remember it.
I get depressed when I see those things on Facebook or TikTok that says this song is 50 years old, and I'm like, oh shit!
Yeah, I know. I hate that too.
Like Nazareth, "Love Hurts" is 50 years old. Oh shit! You gotta be kidding!
Really?
Yeah.
I was like a little kid when that came out because I can't remember that.
Let's see, I was in junior high or high school when that came. Yeah, 75. I would have been a freshman in high school. Yep.
Well, next year, 50-year reunion for my high school.
Right.
Oof.
I got 4 more years from my 50th.
Bicentennial of the United States, 1976.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, our next one we could probably have in a shoebox in somebody's garage, you know, because there's quite a nutrition with my class. It's pretty crazy. They're
Yeah,
dropping
I'm up
like
to
flies.
40.
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah, they're dropping like flies at the 30. There was nobody there hardly. A lot of people had passed away. So,
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, cool, Cat. I don't know. Everybody's got their own opinion about tariffs. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm fan is not the word I'd use, but I fully understand reciprocal tariffs.
Yeah, I can understand it.
Yeah.
Reciprocal tariffs make sense to me. And I'll be honest with you, he's on to something to an extent. We don't know. I don't know where it's all going to end, but all these countries like Vietnam is caved already, Canada, Mexico, Israel. There's a list of people that have already caved and said they're going to drop their tariffs. Canada said they're going to drop their tariffs. The Prime Minister of Canada came out and said they're willing to drop their tariffs if we drop ours. You know, because people talk about free trade, and it's just funny to me when they say free trade. They go, "How dare you be against free trade?" And it's like, so when we impose tariffs, it's a problem with free trade. But when they impose tariffs against us, for some reason, that's not a problem with free trade.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It is so weird. You know, I'm for everybody drop their tariffs. Fine. We'll go tariff free worldwide. Everybody drop their damn tariffs. Let the best man win.
Right.
You know what I mean? Fine. I'm okay with that's free trade.
Yeah.
That's free trade.
Well, it's free trade even with tariffs if you're doing reciprocal, because it's like what was ground level is now 6 feet. So for the most 6 feet, you're still at, you know, it's as broad as it is long.
Well, it's still technically free trade anyway. Until you impose a ban on that product, it's still free trade. I mean, they can still trade here.
Yeah.
From trading, there's a 300% tariff on your products, but you could still trade here if you want. You know what I mean? So that's still technically free trade anyway. No one's stopping them from bringing their products here. You know, but the reciprocal tariffs make sense to me. They really do. I'm sorry. If you do something to me, I'm going to do it back to you. That just makes sense to me. Yeah. Why should we suck it up? You know, it doesn't make any sense. That's just, I don't know, man. It sounds stupid to me to just let it continue. And all these countries that are crying, well, you know, you're so against free trade and it's just not fair. Like, what are you talking about, bro? You guys have had tariffs against us forever, you know, for decades.
Right.
It's just really weird. You know.
Hey, Randy. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, there's always a risk of that, but nobody cared about England's economy when they put a 300% tariff on our cars. Let's say, where's the concern for the economy there? You know what I mean? That's what I mean about this stuff. Oh, the economy. Yeah, really? What about your economy? You know, when you have a 300% tariff on a Ford, you know, it's weird because we could sell you a Ford a hell of a lot cheaper than you can buy a, you know, whatever you guys are driving, BMW or whatever.
Right.
You know, so I don't know, man. It's just weird. Nobody cared about tariffs until we started imposing them on them. Now all of a sudden it's a big deal. But when they had tariffs when Vietnam had a 90% tariff on us, nobody cared. When, you know, when they're shipping 1 million pairs of Nikes to the US every day, nobody gave a shit that there was 0 tariff on Vietnam. But the minute we say we're going to put a tariff on Vietnamese goods, you know, to match their tariff on our goods, all of a sudden it's a big problem. It's just really strange. It's really, really strange to hear people talk about it. I just look at them and go, yeah, but yeah, but you kind of don't make any sense. Nobody cared about the economic ramifications when you had a tariff on our goods, you know, so.
That's right.
It bugs me. Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. I get it. There's going to be some short-term ramifications. Maybe everybody will wake up and go, yeah, we don't really want to play this game with the U.S. You know, there's already a huge trade deficit between us and almost every other country in the world.
Right.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know. He's getting all these countries to cave. I'm just saying.
Yep.
The proof is in the pudding.
Yep.
If it screws, and no offense, but if it screws other countries, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm going to have a hard time caring when they didn't give a shit about screwing us. You know what I mean?
Right.
Nobody cared about us.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody. You can't sell a Ford or a
Nobody.
Chevy in China, period.
Yep.
You know, but nobody cared about us all these years. When all our factories are closing and whatnot, nobody gave a crap. I didn't hear any economists from England or whatever bemoaning, you know, our industry. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. Yeah, Jim, you might be right, but your prime minister came out on the news and said he was willing to drop their tariffs. So he was just on the news like yesterday saying that he was more than willing to talk to Trump about dropping Canada's tariffs against American goods. So we'll see. But you know, like I said, it's a good topic. It's interesting to talk about. You know, but I think one thing that everyone has said, and it's true to an extent, although I don't think I'm not quite as arrogant about it as some of these clowns are, but most of the world needs us more than we need them. And that's the truth. That's the bottom line. Some of these countries, their entire economy almost revolves around us buying shit from them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and if we stop buying shit from them, we'll suffer as well, but I don't know who's going to suffer more. We'll see.
Yep. We'll see.
We'll see. So 7 minutes, 7-minute warning. Unless you're staying on past 10. I don't know why you would.
Well, it depends. I mean, we're still waiting for Don to jump in. He's going
to close us out.
Okay.
Closing time.
Did he pop in? Oh, you went, oh, okay. I thought he popped in.
Yeah, I'm looking over there and I don't see him in the back room. So that's why I keep looking over there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The fence is a good one. You know, like when the pandemic hit, see, some of the stuff they say is 100% true. When the pandemic hit and we couldn't get masks, because why? They're all made in China.
Right.
We're short on respirators. Why? Because they were all made overseas. You know, we couldn't get respirators. We couldn't get some of the medications. Why? Because they were made overseas. Yep. And so, yeah, that's a problem, man. Yep. That's a problem. When you can't get a Ford out because, you know, TMC or whoever, you know, had some kind of issue at their factory, and suddenly Fords are sitting in fields because they're waiting on a chip in the computer. They're waiting for computers. The trucks are built, but they're just sitting in fields because they're waiting for chips for the computer.
Yep.
Because we bought all our chips overseas. You know.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, look at that little thing. What is that? That looks familiar.
Yeah, I remember that.
Game Watch.
Game Hutch. Yep.
Belonged to my son, who I had in 1983.
Oh, wow.
I remember that.
He didn't take it with him, so I kept it for him. And then
color screen. Okay, cool.
This is
she got a brand new one.
This is like maybe 3 years old. This one is from the 80s. This one is from...
Oh, they're still making them?
Oh, yeah. This is something that, well, yeah, because I already had one of these, and a friend of mine in town, for my birthday, he bought me one, so I got 2 of them.
And you're saying they're recent?
Yeah, like
They were made recently.
this is like, well, it's probably got a date on it. Let me look.
Yep. Put your readers on.
That's what happens when you have cataract surgery.
Uh,
Boy, that is some tiny, tiny print.
yeah. Yeah, the digital microscope.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see a date on this thing.
Yep.
But this is within the last 5 years for sure.
Right.
Yeah, but I got 2 of them.
Cool.
This one's unopened, and which is the one he gave me, him and his wife. And then this is, I had one already opened. That's this one. I just need to put new batteries in it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
But you get bored with it really, really quick. I mean, it's only like,
Remember that? What was that? Taki, that little pet. Remember that little dealio everybody had for a minute? The little pets, and you had to feed them every so often.
yeah.
Tamagotchi.
Yeah,
Tamagotchi.
and they were like a little
Had it
pet,
around
and
the
you had
wrong
to
way.
every so often you had to feed it and pet it. You'd hit the button and pet it or feed it and whatever,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and give it water.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it would die.
Yeah, it was a sim pet.
Yeah, it was like it was in a dealio like this big, maybe,
Yeah.
but the size of a keychain or a size of a key fob, rather.
Yes. Yeah, now I remember those. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there was an app where you could put it on your phone for a minute, but I'm talking about the original dealio where it was like this big.
Yeah.
And it was all black and white. It was all 8-bit. Dom, when you say maybe, it was all just blocky, and it's just a little pet, and you had to feed it every so often or whatever. Otherwise, it would die, and it would start beeping at you when it got hungry. It'd be like beep 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 beep.
Something that wouldn't die. Do you remember Pet Rocks?
Oh yes. Mm-hmm.
Oh Lord,
God, that goes way
Pet
back.
Rocks. That guy was a genius.
Oh my God.
That was a genius.
That was the only real investment, really. I mean,
Marketing the googly eyes. Come on now.
Yeah.
Did they have googly eyes on them or no? Maybe they didn't. Maybe you added those. That was probably an accessory for another $1.
There you go.
I remember Mr. Potato Head back when I was a kid.
Yep.
Have a pipe, right? But then you get into the current era where like, oh, smoking is bad. So we had to take away the pipe from Mr. Potato Head. And I was like, you have got to be kidding me. Really?
Yeah.
Seriously, it's not the same thing. Mr. Potato Head always had a pipe.
Right.
So I went on eBay and I looked up the original Mr. Potato Head from way back. I think it was in the 30s, or I don't know. It was a long time ago. It's in our master bedroom closet shelf, but I've got it down there. I bought it. I don't remember what I paid for it, but I had to have it. Yeah. So.
Yeah,
you guys are having quite the little debate over here in the chat. Jim, I hear what you're saying, but I'm wondering what Canada's going to do for their defense if they cut ties with the U.S. I'm just wondering. I'm just wondering what that plan looks like.
And so if Canada gets attacked, they're going to be crying rivers of water like, come and help us, defend us. And it's like, sorry, you're on your own.
Sorry, you said you don't want nothing to do with us anymore. So.
Mount up on your horse and go after him.
Yep.
There you go.
Yeah.
Mount up, Mounties.
Oh, and now Greenland's all crying because, no, we don't want to be part of the U.S.
And they're not going to be. They're good. Denmark finally stepped up and, started doing something. I don't know. Trump is weird. I don't like him very much, but I got to admit that he comes up with some crazy ideas, and then he'll just say something, and it makes this big uproar, and then shit will happen, and you're like, that bastard. You know what I mean? How the hell did he just make some offhand comment? Next thing you know, Denmark is paying attention to Greenland again and invested money in the defense of Greenland. Because that was the main issue, is that Greenland is, not that far off from us, and it's almost, it'd be a nice little launching point for an attack on the U.S. Yep. So that was the main point of the whole thing. Mm-hmm. We don't want Greenland. Who the hell? Nobody wants Greenland. Right. I mean, who wants Greenland? But it'd be a great launching point for an attack on the U.S. That was the whole point. Did anybody else see that Discovery show? I don't know if you're going to get out of here, but where they have a glacier, and they were talking about if a big piece of that glacier fell off into the ocean, they would cause a tidal wave that would cause significant damage on the U.S. God damn it. Mr. Kitty probably seen it, or Don. And I was like, why are you advertising this crap? It was kind of crazy, but yeah, it was like this deal. If there's a big glacier, and a big chunk of it, if it fell off, a big tidal wave would be created that would hit the U.S.
I didn't see it.
It just seems like a nice little Bond movie plan or something.
Yeah, there you go.
You know what I mean?
We got sharks with lasers. Yeah. You can put your lasers on them.
There was something. I'll have to look it up. But it was pretty crazy. If a big chunk of it fell off, it would cause a huge tidal wave, apparently.
Right.
That would hit the U.S. So, I get all this international turmoil, this, that, and the other, and everybody. It feels like everybody in other countries wants things to be the status quo. And no offense to everybody in the other countries, but because that's why you want it that way. It's like if your normal dealio is you're cheating on your old lady or whatever, and you've been getting away with it for 10 years or whatnot. Yeah, heck yeah, you want the status quo.
Yep.
You want things to continue the way they are. The minute she starts stepping out on you, and you go, hey, wait a minute, and it's just, I don't know why when you're the one doing the screwing. I guess
that's
everything's
right,
great. Everything's like, well, it's great. The minute you're asked to bend over, then all of a sudden there's a big problem.
At least we're not in any wars right now. We're just beating the crap out of those damn terrorists. How about them Houthis? Yeah, boy.
Yeah, how about them Houthis? Yeah. Who were the guys that were in that movie, Captain? Wasn't that Tom Hanks? With that black guy? I'm the captain now. What movie is that?
Oh, yeah, that was
the
one
pirates?
The pirates. They took over
Captain Mandolin.
Captain something, right?
Yeah. Mandalorian? Captain Mandalorian?
No, Captain. Fuck. What's the name of it?
Captain something.
Yeah.
But
I'm gonna look it up.
That's interesting. All that's interesting. I can't understand. We're into international politics for all of a sudden for some reason, but I don't understand why everyone is letting that shit go.
Find our way back there.
I don't understand why other countries in the world has let that shit go on, where you can't get your ships through a certain area of the ocean because these clowns attack. Why would you allow that?
Yeah.
We're not the only country in the world with a navy, for God's sakes. Why would you allow that?
Yeah.
Why would you allow your ships to be attacked?
Well, the Russians, they don't allow that shit, and they've had their navy ships in there, and they see they don't, it's FOFA, yeah, fuck around, find out. Yeah, they're all about that. When those pirates try to screw around with their ships, they go, nyeh. And they just blow the bastards out of the water. They just Somali pirates. That's right, Don.
Somali pirates.
Captain Phillips.
Captain Phillips. Yeah. I knew Mr. Kitty and Don would come through.
Well, and that's why we have an aircraft carrier in the Red Sea, to make sure that those Somali pirates don't screw around, and the Houthis. They're the ones firing the missiles at the ships in the Red Sea, and that's why we're bombing the shit out of them, because Trump is like going, we're tired of that crap,
Well, they fired a missile at one of our jets, I guess, and it didn't turn out very well for him.
Yeah.
I guess it didn't. One of our jets were flying by, and he shot a missile at it, and apparently they didn't end very well for him.
Yeah.
Apparently. Yeah. So they'll be picking up the pieces for another week or so.
Right.
another couple of weeks, because I guess they glassed their asses, full on retaliation. Yeah, it's just interesting. Everybody that knows me knows that I'm not interested in us being involved in overseas conflicts.
Right.
I'm one of those guys. I'm an isolationist, and I fully admit it. And I just think that, I don't want us to get involved in kind of crazy shit. But on the other hand, our ships should be able to sail the ocean unmolested.
Right.
Wow, what a crazy concept! I know. You know what I mean? That we can our ships can go sail wherever we want them to sail without being molested. Wow, how crazy!
Yep.
Yeah, so
that's why a lot of those tankers they've armed their ships now. They've got some machine guns on them. And then what they do is like around the rail they put that concertina wire around, and then they make it impossible for those pirates to climb up the sides of the ships to, they board the ship. Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, they should dress them up as whales, and then they could stick the Greenpeace after them. No, what was that whale? Remember that whale show? I'm all over the place tonight, but remember that whale show where they had
Free Willy?
No. The show where they kept the Japanese whalers from attacking whales.
Oh.
Yeah, they would throw like acid bags at them, and
that was part of Greenpeace. Yeah, they did that.
Was it Greenpeace? I can't remember.
And
it was pretty funny.
Then one of their ships got sunk. Somebody got pissed off and ran over their ship and said, "Fuck that shit."
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. That's what I would have done day one.
Yeah,
the Japanese were within. I'm not pro whale hunting, right?
Yeah.
But the Japanese were in their rights. They were within their rights.
Yep.
They had a certain number of whales they could hunt every year. It was part of their culture. Everybody cares about everyone's culture. So it was part of their culture. And they had a certain number of whales they could hunt annually. Yep. And these guys were running around molesting them, and attacking them and whatever. And
you're referring to the Rainbow Warrior in Auckland Harbour.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
They had a whole show on Discovery about it.
Yeah.
Whale something, whale wars, whale watchers, whale something.
Yeah, that'd be called The View.
That would be called Watching the Whales. Yeah. That's a weird joke. I mean, there's only like 2 people on the whole show that are overweight. I mean, if we're going to be honest.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Sonny Hostin's not in bad shape, I don't think.
Yeah.
I don't think Sonny Hostin's in bad shape. The quote unquote Republican chick isn't in bad shape, I don't think. What's the other? Oh, Anna. No, not Anna. Is her name Anna something? The Hispanic chick that supposedly was, she's a little bit thick too. No, the other Hispanic chick. Is she still on the show?
I don't know.
Not Sonny Hostin, because she's kind of whatever she is. You got Whoopi, Joy Behar, the Republican chick. I don't know her damn name is.
Yeah, I know. Now
Anna Navarro? Anna Navarro, maybe?
Yes.
Yeah, Anna Navarro.
Yeah.
Anna Navarro, and then it's Sonny Hostin. So
Sea Shepherd, I think you're referring to.
Whoopi is hot.
Yeah, of course.
Whoopi is hot. Yeah, like a gravity blanket.
She's hot.
Whoopi was never hot. That's one thing. Even when she was in the color purple or whatever, that's one thing she never was. It's hot.
The only thing about Whoopi is that she's a hot mess. That's it.
Yeah. Right. Yep. And
her and Joy Behar and Sonny Hostin.
Her real name is Karen Johnson.
Yep.
Yeah.
Who, Whoopi's?
Yep.
Yeah.
What a generic sounding name.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
that's why she changed her name, I guess.
That's why she's Whoopi Goldberg.
Yeah.
Did she marry a Goldberg? Where'd she come up with Goldberg?
No, that was just a stage name that she picked when she was still doing stand-up comedy.
So
that's interesting.
Yeah. But I think she was hot with Ted Danson for a while.
Oh yeah, she was. Wasn't she dating or married to him? I'm not. They know they ever got married, but they were together.
Yeah. Right.
Which is weird, because Ted Danson, no homo, was not a bad looking dude.
Yeah.
He had a great patch of hair. Yeah.
Yeah, he wasn't a super bad looking dude. So I wonder what broke up that relationship. If I was guessing,
Yeah.
Ted was banging other chicks.
Yeah.
If I was guessing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna jump off
Yeah.
here, guys. My leg is lighting up, so I gotta go.
Yeah, I think it's starting to get a little bit.
All
Yeah,
right.
it's about time to go anyway.
Okay, guys.
Go address this. This is getting crazy painful.
Okay.
Hey, Art, you hit 5,000 subs. Did you know that?
Who?
5,000. Yeah. I got
Yeah, Art's
5,000.
got 5,000 subs.
Way to
Yep.
go.
Yep.
I just noticed
Way
that
to
barely.
go.
It's like 5.06.
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. Art. Big
Yeah.
leagues.
Yeah, I'm way
Yeah,
ahead.
gonna get those double digit YouTube checks from now on.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Double digit.
You, you and I do, Art. I've just got a little over 4,000,
Oh,
and
great.
Oh yeah?
I have no idea why.
Yes.
Yeah. I
Uh,
hit 10,000 at one point.
I don't.
I have no idea why. But we're doing a
Huh.
bunch of dangerous bullshit on my channel back in the day.
Oh.
Wheelies
Okay.
down the freeway and stuff. That kind of crap. We did a bunch of crotch rocket stuff. It had nothing to do with drones.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I want to thank all the guys in the chat, and you all have a great weekend. Thanks for coming to a special hangar talk, filling in for Bill. You all
Yeah.
have a great evening. Don't forget about Lloyd's show on Monday.
Yeah.
See you then. Good night, y'all.
And Johnny's probably gonna go live tomorrow morning, I think.